I brought my agent to my show at the main room.
Oh yeah, how'd it go?
I bought my dick off.
Farting in regular yoga class, fine. Farting in hot yoga is...
First of all, just want to touch on that. Not fine to fart in regular yoga class. Do you know how many shows I've done with people I didn't want to fucking see? I don't. A million?
All of my bridesmaids are wearing potato sacks. I don't give a fuck.
I wish I was worse when I drank so I'd stop.
Boy, the dicks I've sucked for literally nothing. Here we go again. Welcome to Slobs!
Oh yeah.
There we go. There it is.
Welcome to Slobs.
We have we're doing a remote Slobs. We're all over Zoom for the first time. We've never done this before, shockingly.
We have. Oh yeah, no, that's right. Just I have.
Yeah, and we lost that episode because we did nothing, but someone couldn't figure out how to figure out the video. So
we don't love that. We're not blaming you, Laura.
no,
we've had a big week. We've had a big week here.
Yeah, and we can't really talk about it.
Oh, we can say we were all working on something together, which was nice.
Yeah, we've been in a writer's room for the first time on a secret special project.
Yes. Yeah, and it's been really cool getting to have that experience at all, but especially together. How fucking crazy is that?
Yeah,
I really like it. I like it when we're together.
I do too, and I've also learned that I don't like writing. So you learn a lot of stuff in 1 week, and turns out some of us, me, are better on stage.
It's definitely a different skill set.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a muscle. It's a different muscle that you're working out. And something I realized just like thinking about this is that how there are people who are so good at writing for themselves, and like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, no, I can make myself funny all day, but the skill set of being able to write for someone else's voice is like a completely separate thing, and it's cool to get to exercise that muscle and learn about it and stuff.
Well, and Steph and I were talking about it last night, and just to like add on to what you're saying, she's like, so much of my set is like act outs, and you can't do that through someone else's mouth.
And like, no, you can't do that. And I just feel like the way I say things, sometimes there's no punchline, majority of things I say, but the way I say it and my cadence just makes it funny. So it's hard to be in a writer's room where I'm like saying something, but in my head, it's hilarious because I'm like, I'd say it like this. But then when I say it out loud, everyone's like,
yeah.
Like, oh, there you go. And
I've had so many like that. I would say like 4 of 5 things I've said, like nobody laughs. And I'm like, okay, well, let's move on. There was one where someone was like, that's funny. And I out loud was like, is it? Because nobody laughed. And then everybody laughed at that. But I'm like, but that doesn't get me anywhere.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird shot to your confidence. I'll say that. Because it's like, I've been on the road for a while and I've been doing quite well. And then I get in the room and I'm like, oh, 0 laughs on any of these. I'm like, okay, I need to be back on stage. Because the first night I was in the room, I felt like shit. I was like, I felt like nothing I said was funny. And then I went on stage that night and I did like mostly crowd work and kills. And I was like, okay, I'm funny again. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was like, I've been bugging my agents for a long time to get me to writer's room. I'm like, thank God they didn't. I think like if it was like a sketch writer's room, that's me, or a cartoon, I'm shining. I'm a shining star in those type of situations. I'm thinking of bonkers shit. But like, when I look at my actual own stand-up, I don't think I have any punchlines, to be honest with you. I think I end up by going, and then it's like, oh, that's the end of my joke. I don't have a punchline. So I can't write punchlines because I don't do them. I don't know what a punchline is.
It was funny. Something that has come up, something that has been made clear is that Steph and I have no knowledge of current events to a degree that is inexcusable and embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well,
we're just looking at each other blankly like I don't fucking know who that is. I mean, I'll Google it, I'm available to find out, but walk-on knowledge is piss poor, if I'm being honest.
Oh, and I'm not political at all. I'm actually really stupid when it comes to politics. So like when people are talking about liberals and what's in the news now, I'm like, and the Astroworld, had no idea what that was. I had to Google it. Bad Baby.
Oh no.
I've never heard of Bad Baby in my entire life. I was like, who's Bad Baby? A baby that is bad? Like, I don't know what I'm looking up right now. Like, I was like, I'm that bad with pop culture because I'm like, honestly, the Kardashians ruined it for me. I don't give a fuck about these people or their lives or what they do with it. So I just tuned out pop culture because of them. Because I'm like, why am I wasting my time watching these fucking losers? Because I think they're so annoying and untalented. If you're listening, Kardashians, I don't give a shit. I hate you.
Yeah, I've had to hide all of them on social media. And I think a lot of it is just like self-protective, like protective of my mental health. Like my therapist has said, don't watch the news. Like that's part of your diet too, is like all that shit that you take in that way. Like you're letting that into your body and to your head also. Every time I see like, an Instagram model, like in a bikini or whatever, I hide all that shit. I hide so much stuff. I hide everything that shows me food because that makes me want to eat. And yeah, I mean, I I have like been deliberately like I want to know what's going on in the world to the point that I need to be like a functioning citizen. But like a lot of that shit, I'm like, I didn't need to know who Bad Baby was.
No,
Yeah.
it's not changing my life. I do the same thing with hiding. Like there's a comic that I've been following for a while. I don't find them very funny. And then the other day they posted like an advertisement for their show, which it was just them with nothing on, with like barely covering the areolas and then their butthole hanging out. I'm like, I don't need this. I already
Their
don't
butthole hanging out.
And now I'm like, and now I have to look at this. I'm annoyed by it. I don't like being irritated when I'm looking at things online.
Yeah, there also is a part that I don't give a fuck. Sorry, go ahead, Jess.
No, no, that's the thing about like pop culture with like celebrities, especially people who are just sort of like famous for being famous. Like, why? I don't care. I don't care about you. I don't care what you're wearing. I don't know why anyone cares. Like, how sad are people's lives that they're like, well, what is Kim wearing today? Like, fucking get off your couch. But
Yeah.
now it's like real, I'm realizing in this project of like, oh shit, now I have to like sort of be aware of that. But political stuff, I agree, Lara, that like I don't pay attention to much of it for my mental health, and also because frankly, during election season, there's people who I think I even mostly agree with who start to get like really loud and extreme on the internet, and then I'm like, oh, now I think you're annoying, and I'm sort of starting to think that you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll get caught in these weird echo chambers of like, yeah, no, like everything that's like a checkbox of either major party isn't the right answer. Like if it was, we wouldn't have two parties.
Right.
So like, but people just go, if you don't like this, you're fucking stupid. And I'm like, oh, is that how you think that you're gonna get more people to vote for the person you like? Is being like, you vote for them or you're a fucking idiot.
By calling everybody else stupid. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and like looking at beautiful people is interesting because like it makes us feel good and it makes us feel bad. Like from the time that a person is a baby, babies will look longer at people who are attractive. And like we like looking at attractive people, but also we compare ourselves to them. And then that, like, we use it as a way to break ourselves down. Just self comparison breaks us down because you could be an absolute supermodel and look at another supermodel and make yourself feel like shit. And it doesn't mean that you're ugly. It means that you're just comparing yourself to someone who looks different than you do.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is wild, and it's a sick fucking cycle that we're in now. And it's like I keep thinking of like I might not know if I mentioned this to you guys the other day, but I had such a fucking backwards comment on one of my videos. It was this guy. It was also have you ever had a video deep on your Instagram all of a sudden get views? Like I have a video I did at my cottage in the summer. I was high as hell on an edible. It wasn't funny. I literally was like, oh, I'm gonna sit on this thing, or it's a horseshoe pit. Like it's not funny, it's stupid. And now all of a sudden it's getting all these views. I'm like, bizarre. But I had one comment, this guy, he wrote, why do all funny in brackets women have $3 haircuts, sound like a teenage boy, and have a beak on their face? And I clicked on his profile. He's a dad with a beautiful wife and two beautiful kids. And I'm like, can you imagine? Like, I know we all have like daddy issues, whatever, but can you imagine being at the playground with your father as a kid and him going, give me a second, kids, this fucking ugly cunt, and going on the phone? Like, it is such a bizarre, like, I picture my dad right now, like, as we were kids, like making snowmen and him going, give me a second, girls, this stupid fucking cunt, and saying like horrific. It's such a bizarre, like when it's like a guy with no profile photo that comments on my appearance, I'm like, yeah, we know that you're uncomfortable and you have decided
right.
women for other reasons. This was just like, it cut in a way where I was like, your poor wife, your poor fucking kids. Like what a horrible, horrible man.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and answer the question. Why does every female comedian have a bad haircut and a bad face, which you don't, but If they do, it's because people have been saying shit like that to us for our entire lives. People have been calling us fucking fat and ugly for our whole lives. And so we developed defenses, including being funny as fuck and being super mean. Like, that's how I got funny, because people treated me like shit and made fun of me in school.
Yeah, like it's because the women with perfect faces and great haircuts didn't have to learn to be funny.
Yeah.
Turns out you don't have to make people laugh when they're just like, "I love you because you're perfect. I don't care what you say."
Right.
Yeah. I did comment back. Why do all men who abuse their wives have the tiniest penises? And I'm like, that was a good comeback, but I was like, I blocked them too. But I was like, I just find the idea of having a wife and kids and going like it. I think we've had this before, but like if you found out like your boyfriends were DMing that to women, I'd break up with him.
100%.
If I found out Zach was trolling women online, I'd be like, oh, we're through. There's no coming back from this.
In a heartbeat. I would that's disgusting.
I would be so worried about Dave. Yeah. I would be like, what? Like, we need to get you the help that you need. Like, I would be so concerned.
It's fucking, it's alarming, and it's really, it's disgusting. It really is disgusting.
It's also like, if you get to a post on your whatever social media you're on, and it gives you this visceral, angry feeling, like, put your phone down.
Right.
Yeah. Or
go outside. Go for a walk.
Stop. Why are you watching my whole video? If you think I'm that ugly and unfunny, why did you watch the whole minute clip? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
No one asked you to do that.
Yeah.
I've had clips. There was one, I think I mentioned this before, but I had one on Comedy Central where a guy watched it. He's like, I've watched this 3 times now, and it's getting worse every time.
Stop watching it!
Why would you watch it 3 times?
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it with my dying breath. If you don't like our shit, don't watch it. Someone just posted a comment that was like, this podcast looks cringe about slobs. And I'm like, may I invite you to keep scrolling? Listen to a podcast you like. Put your energy towards something that you enjoy.
That brings you happiness.
You don't have to make an announcement every time you don't like something in the world. Nobody gives a fucking shit. I'll tell you that off the top, because that's 100% true. I'm confident in that. And you're just being mean.
Could you imagine if people did that day to day and we were at the grocery store? Like, picture right now being at Trader Joe's and everybody was at the same time going, I don't like this. It would just be chaos.
I don't like this kind of cereal. This kind is bad. No one fucking cares. Then put it down.
And walk away.
It's for the people who do like it. That's why that's there. It's not for you. And go pick up a fucking cucumber and sit on it.
Yeah.
It's also like,
or another food you like.
Or another food you like. Sit on pizza. We don't care.
Sit on a pizza. Who cares?
A hot pizza and burn your asshole.
That's right.
It's also almost feels specific to, and maybe it's not just specific to comedy. Maybe people do it with like movie trailers. But like I've never seen someone in an art museum being like, this painting sucks. Like, can you imagine? It's just like, something about the fact that we're making jokes makes people feel entitled to, and what is that? That's so bizarre.
I don't know, because Jessica Michelle, I do not relate to the impulse at all. I don't relate to the impulse at all. I've never had the impulse to be like, this podcast sounds dumb.
Yeah. Like,
I just don't listen to it. I don't
listen, and I scroll right by. Something that badly, I unfollow it, and that's it. I don't make it.
That's literally what we just were talking about. I just mute it. I just unfollow. I just get it out of my sight so that there's more room for cat videos.
Yeah. You know what's funny though about specifically like hot people and muting them is that I go through, it's like ebbs and flows of depending on my mood, where like sometimes I think following like women who are in really good shape is helpful to me. It motivates me. And then I'll hit a day where I'm like, fuck you and your abs and your ass.
Like, I weirdly think that I feel like that's a different kind of thing that hits a different feeling in me, because that does inspire me and it does motivate me.
Yeah.
But I feel like being muscular is not, like having defined muscles is something that like I can have, like that's attainable. Whereas if it's someone who's like, I'm talking about like anorexic or ill or has some, underweight, I should say. I shouldn't say anorexic because there are plenty of people who are underweight who are not anorexic. Whoa! But for me to be underweight, I would need to be sick or anorexic because that's just not the body I was issued, you know?
Those aren't the parts you were given. So
that stuff is not helpful for me to look at because I compare myself to it and then I feel bad, but I'm feeling bad for not having a body that I just naturally don't have. Right.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, and that's one of those things where it's like, well, what's the point of dwelling on that? Like that's like extra suffering of like wanting a thing you cannot possibly have is what are we doing? I want to be clear, by the way, when I said fuck you and your ass and your abs. I do that in my head.
Right.
Anyone's like, wait, you're doing that?
Obviously. No one thought that you would do that out loud.
I do that out loud. I guess I got so annoyed the other day. Stacia and this UFC fighter, Ashley, are the only two I follow that have like wicked bodies because I'm like, I know how goddamn fucking hard they worked for those bodies. I will like every fucking post and I will appreciate it because I'm like, I know how hard it is. When girls are just like naturally fucking hot and fit, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I saw you eat a burger 2 days ago. I can't watch this shit. Want to do a quick shout out right now to I got a new pet groomer. And I if you're in Los Angeles, I'm sorry. I had Jess Rona Grooming charges $350.
That's fucking insane.
$350 to cut and bathe my golden retriever. I get it. She's famous, whatever. This girl.
I better get my own video for my Instagram.
Got no video. I got nothing. She's called
That's what it costs me to get my hair done.
It cost me less for that. Pet.
Well, yeah, $3.
It cost me less than that.
Pet Perspective. She's fucking amazing. Pet Purr. She does cats and dogs. She charges $65 for a golden retriever bath, cut, nail trim. Are you kidding me? And full body trim. $65. She's giving me, she said she talked about it today for free because she's a comedy fan. But I just want to shout her out because she has her own business. She runs it with her sister. She's at Santa Monica and Van Ness. If you're looking for a fucking reasonably priced, well done pet grooming, look, I want to support the women that are charging normal amounts because $350 for a dog's bath is fucking lunacy.
Is criminal. Did you go down on my dog? Like, what the fuck is
my dog better come back with the dildo still in her ass. Otherwise, that's not worth it.
Yeah, she better not bark ever again.
I'm going to go ahead and offer a counterpoint here. People can charge whatever the fuck they want because it's supply and demand. Like if she's doing it for famous people, if her schedule's filled up and she's making enough money charging $350, then like fucking charge $350.
It's just it's what you're getting for the $350 is my problem.
But you don't have to pay. Like, just don't use her.
I didn't know what the price was.
That's fucked. That's
the issue. There was no pricing. I took her in and I got her back and they told me the price and I went, I'm sorry. Am I putting my house up for sale? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah, I think if you're going to be a luxury high end or like you've achieved a level of success where like you can and need to raise your prices that much. If somebody new comes in, you should go, hey, just so you know.
Yeah.
Right. Here's my pricing guide.
Like offending someone, like, what, you think I can't afford it? It's like, no, but it's a little bit above the regular price because this is a celebrity.
Yeah.
I think you have an obligation to go, it's this much. Is that cool?
I mean, I will say she looked absolutely perfect and smelled amazing for like a week. But here's the thing with dogs. With Goldens, they don't last long. Also, Jess, how do you get any sleep with your dog? Just a quick question. She does walk across my face every morning and she's so fucking cute that I'm not annoyed by it. But at the same time, I'm slightly annoyed. She sleeps on a pillow. And then at 7 a.m. every morning she stretches and just paws her toes across my head. And I'm like,
Steph has been dog sitting for Jessica Michelle's dog, Moki. I just wanted to.
To make that clear. I just want you to know.
She gets jealous. So then she comes on the bed and then they're both in my eyes. And I'm like, I can't sleep. But she's so cute. She sleeps on the pillow. It's so cute.
She doesn't do that to me. So I think she just hates you. No, this is the truth, is that she must do this before she has time to paw my face. My neighbor, my apartment neighbor leaves their apartment every morning for work at 7:30. And they are the loudest exiter of their own apartment in the history of people exiting an apartment. And it wakes up my dog. And what wakes me up is my dog waking up and going, because she's like, there's someone out there. And it's like, every morning, it's the neighbor. Nothing's wrong. Go back to bed. But I'm very sorry she's walking in your house.
No, I do love having a dog in the house that barks though. Any sound, anything, I'm like, oh, this is great because I don't have to come home and check my closets before I go to bed every night, which I normally do with my dog because I feel like if there was a man hiding in the closet, Susan would have ignored it by that point. So
that's so funny. Susan would be like, whatever.
I literally check my closet and behind my shower curtain every night I come home.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm twisted. It's also I live like you guys live in like nicer areas.
You know what I heard? Yeah, I'd be scared to live in your place too, because that person broke into that other person's place right close to you, and your landlord won't put bars on your windows.
No, it's terrifying.
And you're on the first floor. But anyway, Dave got me a fire extinguisher, and mine is not the kind that does this, but I was reading about it, and some of the fire extinguishers spray out like sub-zero temperatures. And so if there's a robber, you can spray them with a fire extinguisher and it stuns them. I mean, it'll stun them even if it doesn't freeze them. And then you hit them in the head with it.
And that's why he got it for you?
No, he got it for fires.
Yeah, it just occurred to me that I'm like, do I not have a fire extinguisher?
You should get one. You don't.
Yeah.
If you don't know if you have one, you don't have one.
Mandatory.
I think landlords are supposed to have one, but yeah, we're in Hollywood, baby. They don't give a fuck out here.
Yeah, I don't know I know you have to have smoke detectors.
So you're like, yep, there's a fire. Thanks, detectors.
Yeah, you're supposed to just leave, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
But I have one that I've been keeping in the kitchen, but I might keep it in my room and the kitchen.
Which one? Well, what? A smoke detector?
No, a fire extinguisher.
You might keep it. You might get two, or what do you mean?
Yeah. Or carry it around the house with me.
Is he that worried about fire?
Teddy. Speaking of carrying the house, Zach is coming on Monday for 10 days.
I thought he was there now. Did he come and did he leave?
No, he didn't come yet. He had his kids this weekend. He's coming in. Yeah, he comes in on Monday for 10 days. It's going to be the longest time I've spent with a man that long. Oh, speaking of men, a guy that I completely cut off years ago messaged me yesterday. And
knew it was going to happen. Could have set my watch to it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're happy now. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's read his comment. This guy, okay, so I'll give a background on this guy. He also had 2 kids, actually. He was Swedish. I brought him to this crazy cool.
I remember this guy. We played tennis when you were dating this guy. I hate him. What did he have to say?
I never met this Swedish fish.
No. I didn't meet him either, but I heard the stories.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to play tennis. I took him to this really cool No Effects backyard show. I was like, this is my fucking dream come true. I'm playing for all these punk bands. It was crazy. He checked out women the whole night. By the end of the night, he told me he doesn't want to see me. He wants to fuck a bunch of other people after I had met his kids. I'm like, you do realize that getting introduced to your kids means that I thought this was more serious? He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, that's how this shit works. Why would you fucking, and the way I met his kids was so bizarre too. It was like at this like bookstore downtown. He's like, oh, look who it is, my friend. And I'm like, you didn't tell your kids. It was bizarre.
What?
Have not spoken to him in Lord knows how long.
And then he messaged you.
It's been about 2 years. It's been about 2 years.
Yep, I get yesterday at 3:11 p.m. Still fucking hilarious. Just popped in on a whim. Hope that's a word. I have been watching some Netflix specials and most suck ass. You deserve the spotlight. Wish you all the fucking best. Oh, and I still have that book if you want it. Time fucking flies. Sorry about that. He borrowed a book of mine and fucking never returned it. And I asked for it like 100 times. And now he's saying, I don't want the book. I'm never answering him. That's it. I'm deleting it. I'm actually gonna delete it right now. I delete it.
Also, most specials don't suck ass. I just want to put that out there. Most people who get to the level where you can put out a special, most specials are good. Most specials are funny.
I would say majority.
I disagree with you, but I think most comedians who get to that level are funny. I think some of their specials are dog shit. And
I will say that
I won't name anyone. I think
I'm gonna name. I will. You can't pay me to watch that special. Why are we giving stand-up special? The man hasn't done stand-up in 15 years.
He did stand up at a show that I was at like last year. I thought he was funny.
Yeah, he is funny. He also has a full cartoon and everything else. He has a show. Why are we giving this guy? I think personally, stand-up specials should go to people who've been road dogging it, who know they're
working on their comedy.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but that's because you're a comic. You're not like a network executive who I have such a hard time with the people who make the decisions in this industry.
Yeah, because they're idiots.
And most of them wanted to be comics to start with.
Yeah, well, it's just like.
Do you think so? I think they just don't care about being funny.
I think most people on the entertainment side are too afraid to admit to themselves, or they went for it and it didn't work out. Yeah, no,
half my agents and my manager, they all started in stand-up. They did stand-up for like a year, it didn't work out, and then the management. Yes, that's how that works.
Really? I don't think any of mine did.
I guarantee you at least 2 of them did.
You
or
know
they
them?
thought about it, or they wanted to be a writer.
Yeah, I want to be a writer. I honestly think 90% of the industry is people who wanted to start doing what we're doing and then didn't work out, so they realized quickly.
Yeah.
I honestly think so.
And I think some
Nothing
of
wrong
those,
with that.
it's
I'm just saying, like, I think that's how they're gonna do it. Like,
no, it's fine. You find your niche, and there's some of them who it's like, yeah, they thank God that they got on the business side because they're great at the business side. But like, I think there are some people in the industry who are fucking lazy, and they're like, well, people will watch this person because they're famous, and of course, if you offer someone a certain amount of money, they're gonna be like, yeah, I guess. But it's like, no one should be doing a stand-up special who hasn't been working on their stand-up. Like, that's embarrassing. Like, if you're too busy to come up with an hour, say no. Yeah. Don't put out some half-ass garbage because like it makes you look bad. I get more frustrated like if it's let's say that like a famous woman does that, then people go like, so women aren't funny. It's like, no, she didn't have time. There was no fun. Or there's like women who have put out shit that it's like, this is lazy. This was lazy. Yeah. And you didn't need to. This was a cash grab for you. Like this. So there's some people who get a certain level of fame, and this is all people who like at this point, by the way, in case anyone wants to be like, what does she mean? It's people who I think mostly don't do stand up at all anymore, but have in the past kind of quit doing it. They put something out and it's like, you don't care. Like you stopped caring. You don't need this anymore.
Yeah. Literally.
Why did you do that?
People like money. That's why when I see fucking big celebrities in like Capital One commercials, I'm like, Kevin Hart, you need a couple more million. Are you crazy? Like, let somebody else do these fucking. Anytime I see a celebrity in a commercial, I lose my fucking marbles.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, like, there's people who are objectively, I think, very funny comedians, and there's something about the medium of seeing them live versus seeing it filmed where you lose something. And I am not a cinematographer. I will never be someone who has, I think, the creative skill set to understand what makes a good filmed special. But there's certain things that like make it pop, make the fact that it was popping in the room appear on screen, where sometimes people look flat. Like they just sort of like doesn't do that comedian justice.
Yep.
Where I always want to be like, I wish we were in the room. I bet it was really good in the room.
I never want to be in a room again for the rest of my life.
You never want to be in a room?
Yeah, actually, that's true. I was in the room for a special, and I was like, I don't ever want to do a special after seeing.
No, I can't be. I can't
stop
watch
and
that
pause
shit.
and
no,
Really?
I can't do that. The stopping and pausing. I had to do that for a taping in fucking Winnipeg. They didn't have the goddamn the camera in the right spot, and I came out hot. I did my first full joke, and I'm like, here we go. And they're like, all right, sorry, staff. The camera wasn't in the right spot. I'm like,
Why?
Go off and start my set again. And like, it's a clean set. So I had to be like, all right, fuck faces. I was pissed. I'm like, you guys better fucking laugh at that joke even goddamn harder. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I didn't fuck it up. Because like, and then after people like, oh, we didn't realize that. We thought you fucked up the joke. I'm like, I didn't fuck up the joke. Like I knew what I was fucking doing. It was really frustrating. And then I don't want to let me post that set. The Winnipeg Comedy Festival, if you're listening, they will not let me post my set for 6 years. I cannot cut it up and put it on any social media. I'm like,
why?
I don't know, because this is again why I get frustrated with Canada. I get very upset sometimes because I'm like, why wouldn't you want me, somebody who has 600,000 followers on TikTok, to use 1 minute of that clip and go, hey, you want to watch the rest of this? Here's the link. Like, there's no eyeballs on this. No one's going to see. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? Those jokes are now nothing. No one's ever going to see them.
What, like, because they want all the views to come to them? Is that like the clause of 60? That's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, it's crazy. It is really wild the way some festivals work. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Like, it's shot really well too. Like, it looks fucking good. And I don't hate how I look on, like, I was bigger then, but I had a really nice outfit, so I don't hate how I look. And it's like a good backdrop. Not like, sometimes you see those like cheesy, hokey, like neon green backdrops. It looks like you're in a fucking goddamn pizza place at 4 a.m. But this is like a really well shot. Well, and I'm like, well, no one's ever going to see it because it comes on CBC at midnight. Who's watching this?
That's like bad industry decisions in a nutshell, because they're going like, we want all the pennies from the views we're getting on it, when it's like, do you realize that she is a draw in Canada, and you sharing a clip is going to make people go, oh, there's a comedy festival in Winnipeg, I should look at it. They'll go look at other clips. But people don't think about this shit. They just go like, they put on blinders and think one thing, and like the problem is so many people on the business side don't have the creative brain to like think of all the other ways that they could be helping themselves.
Yeah, it's really bizarre to not want to use anybody. Everyone having a little push. Like even like if you don't want us putting the whole clip up, fine. Give everyone a minute clip and like let it. We can okay it with you to be like, if this is fine, we'll post it. But I'm like, okay, well that's that's an 8 minute set no one's ever gonna see for the rest of my life. Like literally one person messaged me going, "Were you just on the Comedy Channel last night?" I go, "I don't know. I don't get TV in Canada. I don't know if I was. I'll never see it." I was too pissed off to download it. I'm like, fuck you. I can't use it. I don't even want to see it. Then I'm pissed. What's the point? What if I loved it?
Also, by the time that you're allowed to share it, you're gonna have such better stuff. You're like, I'm not gonna share this.
I will never share that clip in 6 years. I'm not gonna be doing an outdated 6 year. No, what's not happening?
If I ever am like, thank God this 6 year gap is up, so I can share this clip because I've just been waiting for it, and
that's so long.
Like
so long. Like,
I'll share old shit, but I'm not gonna be like, thank God that this thing.
I'm thinking back on jokes I told 6 years ago. I would never want some. I'm like going to people on YouTube and being like, please take this clip down. It is embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Like, that's how I behave with clips from that. I like don't even want it to exist.
No.
Yeah, I have this idea in my head that I haven't done and I've gone back and forth with because you know how things are when like if something gets in the algorithm and like no one's reading the captions, but like I sort of was like, well, what if I cut up some of my old shit and was like, look how fucking awful this is. But then I'm afraid of that getting in the algorithm and someone being like, this is her comedy. And yes,
do not put it out there. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Man, I just want.
No, I would not now. Not now.
Content, but there's no reason to either. Like,
no reason.
I mean, maybe your old shit is better than my old shit, but I'm like, I want to burn my old shit to the ground. Like, I do not want it to exist. It's not funny to me how bad it was. It's embarrassing to me how bad it was.
Well, no, it's, you ever look back at a set, like a clip where maybe it was the thing you were using for submissions for a while. And at the time you were like, oh man, I got a good tape. And then you watch it and you're like, oh.
Dude, I had this one set and they like, yes, that is embarrassing. I had one set where they're like, go super slow, wait a super long time during the laugh so that they have room to like edit it and like do whatever. And I was like, okay, it was a filmed set, obviously. I did that. They did not edit it. So I just look like my timing is moronic. Because there's all these super long gaps in there. And I'm just like, why did you tell me to do that? Also, I don't trust anyone's sense of timing more than my own.
Yeah.
Of course.
I never want to have to do that shit. That's like, I hope that by the time I get a special or shoot a special, I'm successful enough that I could be like, and this is insane, and I'm far too much of a people pleaser to actually say this, but be like, you better get the fucking shot or I'm firing you in front of the crowd. And also, like, I'm doing my time.
No, I hope you do get to a point where you can say that, because that is an insane thing to say.
I would never really say that, but I would want them to fear that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to, like, go back. Like, how much work do we need to do ahead of time so you know what the shot is?
Yeah.
Fine. Like, I'll come do a rehearsal.
Well, and that's the thing is by the time you get to that level, I think that you can say that without having to say that. Like, I want them to be shitting themselves, but I shouldn't have to tell them to be shitting themselves. And I think that we want that because that's how we feel about stuff. Like, I take stuff so seriously that I get so nervous about doing it right, so that I, in that position, would never be like, oh, sorry, the camera was in the wrong place. It fucking just wouldn't be.
No, it's that just
because you would have the other sound guy go out there. You know what I mean? Like, you would do a sound check. You would cover that in sound check. You would cover the lighting, you know?
They would have you go through the set so they know where they need to be for the shot, especially if you're a physical comedian.
Right. The camera should have been in the right place since 4:00 that afternoon.
No, it's I like, from Just for Laughs that I've asked 3 times to take down now, because it's on. If you Google me right now, it's one of the first things that comes up. I am eating shit. I'm sweating. I look really bad. I was really overweight at the time. I look horrific, and I keep asking to take it down. They will not take it down. It's also, they posted it 3 years after I taped it. It's like 4 years old now. They just reposted it recently. I'm like, take it down.
Why won't they take it down? They reposted it.
It's literally
fuck them.
It's really, and then they wanted to charge me $50 for it. FYI, they're like, Oh yeah, just for laughs. Hello, hi. I'm like,
I'll charge you $50 to eat my fucking nuts. Take this clip down.
They wanted to charge you $50 to take it down.
no, for the set for me to get it personally to have it.
No, you can rip. Is it on YouTube? Use 4K video downloader. You can rip it.
Oh yeah, no.
And you should rip it and then put. They wanted to charge me $50.
First thing that comes up, they posted it March. They posted this year, and I filmed it 4 years ago. Oh,
and
yeah.
then they can beg you to take it down, and you can be like, "Doesn't feel too good, does it?"
You should repost it and be like, "I ripped this off YouTube because Just for Laughs wanted to charge me $50."
Guys, it's so fucking bad. I look horrific. They need to take it down. I can't believe this. I did it in 2019, and they just posted it this year. It's 4 years ago. That's 4 years old.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe 2019 was 4 years ago. First of all,
that's
crazy. That's
also
wild.
It's I hate the way. And also, guess what? Was in the crowd that night, sitting front row, and every single comic bombed because they walked up and they went, like Tom Dakar walked off stage, Adam Conover, we all came off and went, why is on the front row? Every one of us freaked the fuck out. And
why would he do that?
I went right down to the person who was running this. I'm like, who the fuck put him there? I'm like, you have stressed all of us out in a way that we did not. Like, first of all, it was a Canadian taping, so I was like, look, not many people see this anyways. And I'm like, I was feeling confident as shit. I'm like, I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna riff a bit off the top. I'm pumped up. I was like excited to do it. The second I see fucking there, I'm like, well, this is, and John Doerr was hosting it, who's fucking incredible. John Doerr is the funniest man.
He's so funny.
He's so fucking funny and so silly and such a perfect fucking host for something like this because he makes it so lax and so comfortable and just such great intros. And then the people that were seating, they were like, oh yeah, he wanted to sit there because I think he was like dating some girl who loves John Doerr, so she wanted to sit close. And I was like, and then even my sister who was sitting up in the balcony was watching him, and she's like, oh yeah, he hated the show. He was on his phone for everybody. He's like, the big compliment for me was, like, yeah, he wasn't on his phone for you as much. And I was like, oh, good, great.
I like to.
He was on his phone.
His phone. He was on his phone.
In the front row, and he's a comedian. Like, you know better. You fucking know better. Also, I like to imagine he's not listening to this, but I like to imagine that he was listening to the top of this and was like, "Fuck you," and he got to this part, and he's like, "Well, that's what you get." Take that.
Very accurate. Yeah. It was wild. I was like, I
wouldn't mind him hearing what we're saying, which is that a comedian should never do that and should know better.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's fucked up.
Every one of us came off stage and was like rattled, completely rattled. Like I think everyone had not the set they should have had. Like we all had you can watch my set. You can tell I'm doing like weird voices for no reason. Like I already go into a deeper octave, but in my head, I'm like, big mouth, and I'm like doing like crazy, and I wasn't like, I was missing like jokes. It was crazy. It was manic, and I was so fat and so sweaty. It was disgusting. It was so bad. First clip when you Google me comes up. Good, great. I actually have to write a note.
$50, biggest comedy club in the world. You don't have to pay us. What are you, flappers? Shut the fuck up.
Flappers only charges $25.
Oh, well, I gotta get there and tape a set. They charge my special in the Yuhu room.
Charge 25.
Well, that was like years ago. They never actually charged me.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not paying for sets anymore. You want me to do your club? I'm not paying for fucking. Give me.
Yeah, no, I'm not paying for anything. Like, what are you talking about?
Money fucking paying for a set? No.
Also, do you realize how stupid you fucking sound when iPhones are as good as they are now? Like, yeah. I'll get a better recording with my phone than you would with your camera that's been there since 2000.
I'm sure most of the comics have more followers than the Flappers can anyways. Why wouldn't you let us give us the tape and then we just tag Flappers? That's where it was. That's
don't you want us to legitimize your embarrassing fucking club?
Yeah.
You think I want people knowing I performed with Flappers?
The name's bad. The name is not good. And the decor. It's really.
I like the decor.
I would dress like that.
I like it because it's so cheesy.
I like
it. Feels like it's at least they leaned in, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, they need to redo the stage at the Yuhu room. I don't know whose idea that was or why that's
shit. Any comedy club, fucking quit having shit on your stage.
Quit making it look like a grandmother's living room. What are you thinking?
Like somebody.
There doesn't need to be a couch. There doesn't need to be a couch. Yeah, someone will sit in it ironically on every show. Nobody will laugh because it won't be funny, but the comedian will feel like they need to address the couch, which they don't. Let's be clear.
I do.
There doesn't need to be a couch on the stage.
Anytime there's a chaotic background, it's like,
you know what I do? Doing? I like the Creek in the Cave in Austin, though. It's kind of chaotic. There's like a big stuffed bear on stage, but I like that. I like the way that one looks. It looks like you're kind of in a hunting lodge type thing.
Inside or outside?
Inside on the stage. There's like a huge.
I never noticed that.
I went up there, but I just didn't even.
In Austin is a massive bear with holding a salmon. Like a
I've been up there and I've never noticed that.
I think there was a full drum set because they were doing music too, so I just didn't notice. It was just chaos.
It was last year. Maybe it wasn't there.
Maybe. It was there last year. It's been there for years.
I didn't notice it. I don't know what to tell you.
High stage too. That's you know what I was thinking the other day. I wish that there wasn't some sort of website or app where comedians could like, and there'd have to be a way to vet people and not just let people give advice, but like could anonymously give constructive criticism to comedy clubs.
Well, they have like
there is. It's the internet, and comedy clubs don't care.
No, I mean where they would maybe actually like a place where they'd go. I go to get like if somebody did care, they'd be like, I log on to Clubber. I don't know, that's fucking stupid, but like where you could go, hey, maybe bring the chairs closer, or like, have you considered, announcing from the back of the room instead of walking on stage and bringing the host up or whatever.
Right.
Because it's an awkward thing where like, I don't want you to judge like whether or not you want to work with me based on me giving you feedback, because everyone in comedy's got weird fucking egos. But sometimes there's rooms where you're like, this could be a lot better, and it's pretty easy to make it better.
I want every club to model behind the same way the Tempe Improv. That club has ruined my life with how well run it is. How fucking it's like every single aspect was so fucking perfect. I'm like, from getting picked up at the airport, from getting picked up every night to and from the show, even though it was such a close walk, like, no, we'll get you, don't worry about it. Everything, like every servers coming in every 2 minutes, checking on you, filming the sets, immediately sending them to you right after the shows are done. Everything, like having a green room away from where you walk on stage, so you don't hear the other comics talking. Full separate green room, so it's, and then when you go on stage, it's fucking dead quiet, because I'm sick of hearing fucking comics yapping in the back.
Dude, I cannot stand that. That makes me so mad when I hear it, because you can't. I have called it out before, but I hate having to call it out.
Yeah, you shouldn't have
like,
to.
Hey, will the comics be quiet? Like,
will the people who should know better do better?
Literally.
Shut the fucking door.
Yeah,
I cannot tell you how many clubs I've worked where I've had to specify, shut the door to the green room, keep it closed, because people can hear you out there. I don't know what kind of sound portal they think exists that defies the laws of sound that exist every other place that they ever are.
Yeah.
Do you think that this place is somehow soundproof with the door open? Are you fucking stupid? Have you existed in the world in any other context? Where has that been true? I want you to tell me one other place that's been true, where you can sit in a room with the door open and people 10 yards away from you can't hear you loudly talking when there's no one else talking.
Yeah.
I'm pausing for a bit and I hear, yeah, dude, that was like so crazy. I was there 2 years ago. Shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot. Close the goddamn door.
Speaking of being stupid, the other day,
we're really going with names today, aren't we? We're kind of on one today, Steph. I gotta be honest.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm on
naming names.
I'm on one because gave me the absolute worst intro I've had now at the Comedy Store, and I've had some bad ones. It like legit hurt my feelings. I have opened for him in Toronto. He hugged me in the parking lot. Goes to bring me up in the main room, sold out main room, packed. He goes, who's up next? And I'm like, I'm backstage going, is he joking right now? The list is everywhere. There's been no changes. I saw him in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, I'm up after you. He even said that. Go, who's up next? The guy in the booth's like, Steph. He goes, who? He's like, Steph. He's like, Steph. He goes, okay, Steph. And I come out and I'm like, now the crowd thinks I'm a piece of shit. I look like a scumbag piece of absolute shit. And I come out and I'm like, and I flipped. I'm like, keep it going for this fucking little idiot who can't fucking read. And then I was like pissed. I'm like, 5 letters? Really, Brett? You couldn't get the 5 letters? And I was like, it just really hurt my feelings. I'm like, I've opened for him, man.
Did you call him a little idiot?
I was pissed. Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna take
it. It's also like you hugged me in the parking lot and then we're confused. But who did you think I was? Also, what did you think my name was? That's so insane.
It's written right there. You didn't, before you went on stage, you didn't go, oh, who's after me? Like it really.
Yeah, I get their intro ready in my head. And like I fucked it up a couple times, but I at least attempt to know what to like. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know who's coming on next. I always look at who's on next after me. And usually they're backstage and I say something. I was like, I just like, especially because he like, you really don't know my last name at all. It was just crazy. I was so mortified coming out. And I had like, of course, the first 3 minutes were weird as hell because the crowd was like already not on my side because they think I'm some loser open micer who just strolled into the main room. Like, no credits, nothing. And I was like, okay, man. And like the nights before that, fucking, it is honestly alarming too how the crowd reacts when you come out when it's to the different intros.
You've been doing arenas with Bill Burr and you just had a Netflix special come out. Like, you don't deserve to be given an introduction that tells the audience, this person's not famous. This is a nobody. This is a good time to get up and use the bathroom. And you're a woman.
Works that club
And you're a woman.
No,
like, what a fucking double strike.
No,
well, and people should know that, like, there are people on the lineup at the Comedy Store that don't have the household recognition that some people have, that the big names people come for. You should be selling everyone, like, just so you know, anyone you see appear is a qualified, great comedian. You're gonna have a good time.
That's so what everybody
don't know who this is.
That, well, give me the worst intro too. He went, I don't know her. I've never seen her. She must be funny because she's here.
Why do people feel the need to say that?
No,
I introduce people I've never seen all the time. Do you know what I say? I love this guy. One of my absolute favorites, a club favorite. You're going to love him. He's a nationally touring headliner. You know him from his podcast and like, special, like fucking shit out an intro. Like, shit out a proper intro.
The show.
You've been doing comedy for years. You know how to do it. You know how to fucking introduce a comedian. Just do it. Do your job.
Like, why make it negative for literally no reason? You do not know this comic. You don't know what they're going to say or what they're going through. Why make the show? Bill Burr's intro to me, you heard Jess. It was the nicest thing in the world. He was like, she's a true original. And I was like, and also like, I now look incredible going out after the biggest fucking comedian in the world. Bill's giving me an intro like that. Like, the crowd's already like fucking clapping and going crazy for me because just hearing that alone.
And he just made himself followable in doing that.
Yes, exactly. It didn't make it like,
he told the crowd, hey, I know that you're going to be like, fucking Bill's gone. This person's great. Enjoy them. It's also like,
when I toured with Rogan, he brought me up from the God mic, made sure to say really nice stuff about me. Touring with Marin, he brings me up from a God mic, makes sure to say really nice stuff about me. Like, they know it's important. They know that it gets the audience on your side, and it can also tell the audience, go to the bathroom. I don't know who the fuck this is.
Literally. If I don't care about them, why the fuck would you care about them? Who? Steph? Whatever. Okay. Here. All right.
What's the point? Like, what's to gain? I don't get it.
It's like it's not going to make them not follow you after the show. It's not going to make them not think your set was hilarious. Like, it's a very bizarre, bizarre.
I think it's insecurity. It's like,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like, you still have to like tear people down because you're afraid of like not looking like you're good enough. That's wild.
I have literally brought up comedians I hated and been like, you're gonna love this person.
Yeah.
I would go in for the very funny so-and-so.
I do that if I think about Dalia. Dalia would be the one person I'd be like, I can't bring this person up. Everybody else I'd be like, yes, here you go.
That's fine. But you have a good reason for feeling that way.
Well, I'd still be like, he fucks kids. Give it. I don't think
you're gonna love him.
I would pay $100 to see you say he fucks kids. Give it up for Chris D'Elia.
Oh, the no club would ever put him up after me because they know I would do that. That's a problem.
I mean, at least they'd stop sneaking you onto shows with him where they don't tell you he's on the lineup.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll tell you right now. It gives me a lot of joy that I get to bring up and one day, and I can't wait to do it. I can't wait.
What are you gonna say?
Nothing nice. I'm gonna probably do like what they did to me. See how it fucking feels. Also, I've never watched it. Like, I think
he has always been really nice to me. I'm really sorry that you had that experience with him.
Also, it was the day I was running my set for Netflix. So I had to do my tight 8 and I couldn't rebuttal. Normally, I'd like when I went up and yelled at fucking normally I'd go up and be like, is this guy fucking kidding me right now? Like, what the hell? Like, and I would have snapped. But I would
or at least even just say to the audience, like, there's a list with our names on it. Like, the line, he saw the lineup right before coming on stage. At least a choice was made to not know who was following you.
Yeah. Did say my name properly, but he also was just like, it was just like, yeah, I'm obviously there for a reason. I'm sorry you don't know who I am. I don't really know who you are. I've never watched your set or listened to your stand-up either, but I would never have.
But I won't say that when I'm bringing you on stage.
Yeah, you're like, this guy's famous for some reason, but I don't know why. I've never seen his shit. Like, yeah.
Just go through the fucking motions. That's what I don't get. Like, that's when it is being mean, because the path of least resistance is to be like, you're going to love this next comedian. You've seen him all over, tours around the country. Keep it going for the very funny blank. That is a stock that works for any comedian. It's the easiest thing to say. I didn't have to think at all to say that. I would have to think harder to be like, who is this? Yeah. I don't even know who this person is.
Yeah. Even if you have to go, who? Like, you
that's
genuinely
just
don't
so that's so awkward. It kills the momentum. Like, why would you do that?
Even the audience was like, all right, I don't know her either. Like, no one's like, I'm leaving. I don't know who's coming up next. Like, who cares?
That's the thing, though, is like, obviously it's disrespectful to the person you're doing to it, but it's also disrespectful to the audience who just spent a bunch of money to be like, I'm trusting that this is a good show, and now you're making them go like, wait, like, is this turning into an open mic, or like, what's going on? Like, you should be selling the show to them. You want people to keep coming to the shows.
Yeah, because like, we're good and we're funny and we deserve to be there, and we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, we do. This was real comedy heavy. So
this is very comedy heavy. I mean, guess what? We're all comedians. It's also like I've been quite stressed with comedy these days, so I'm like, I gotta talk it out. People like hearing about it, right?
Yeah,
I guess.
We're gonna call this one's comedy heavy. I think.
Yeah, I think that's a great
comedy heavy. Comedy heavy.
In case someone doesn't like that, then they can just go ahead and do what we talked about at the beginning and fucking skip this one.
Suck our big fat ass.
Suck our butt. Where are we all going to be coming up?
I am going to be in town.
I am around town for a while, but I will be in Sacramento, December 9th through 11th, and Grand Rapids, Michigan, January 12th through the 14th. New Smyrna Beach in February, and somewhere else. Oh, you guys come see all of us at the Riot Comedy Festival next March, spring break. Get your plans now. They have tickets for sale.
When is this coming out? I don't. If this is
next Monday.
Okay, great. I will be in DC at the Comedy Loft on Sunday, December 6th.
November 6th.
November 6th. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck date is.
I know your calendar. I'm a fucking
No,
loser.
you do, you psycho. And then I'm going to be in Springfield, Missouri at the MGM November 18th, 19th. And then I'm going to be headlining the Punchline Philly Thanksgiving weekend. Please come to that. Philadelphia people. Also, I'm almost done here. Sorry. My New York show got moved from November 10th to November 30th. So please come see me do Steph Tolev in the round on November 30th at Le Poisson Rouge. Tickets should have been switched over. If you haven't bought them yet, please buy them. They're going to sell out. Thank you. That's that.
Wait, December 1st through 4th, I'm going to be at the House of Comedy in Bloomington, Minnesota. And then I'm going to be in Vancouver, December 15th through the 18th.
Yay! Go there, follow us.
Yeah.
We've got a Patreon
at the House of Comedy. Sorry, or the comic strip.
Yeah. Or remind me, I will blast that out too. I'm on my Canadian peeps for you to go because there's a lot of people up there that would love you. Thank you very much. Follow us all and everything, and we'll be back.
We got all the. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. We're gonna say we got all the what?
I was just saying, all the videos are on YouTube now, so you can watch us on video if that's more your speed.
There you go.
Subscribe, leave a review, join the Patreon.
Keep it slobby.
Yeah.
Follow the podcast at Slobs Pod. Follow me at Lara Bites.
Follow me at Steph Tolev.
Follow me everywhere on the internet at JMS Comedy.